So we're going to have a conversation about tips for house hunting in the UK, and I'm going to talk from my own experience, okay? When you are house hunting in the UK, right, something that is very, very important is viewing. If you found it on Spare Room, Gumtree, Zoopla, or wherever it is you found this apartment from, make sure that you are able to view the apartment before you pay or before you move in, because if you find the apartment and you do not view, there's a chance that you move in and you don't like it so much, you discover things that does not work for you, but it's too late, you've paid. So make sure that you viewed the apartment ahead of time. And there's also a chance of getting scammed if you don't view the apartment and you pay, and then if they scam you, who are you going to go to? Which building are you going to walk into? Who are you going to say, this is the person that took my money and didn't like give me any apartment? Because it's online, so much can happen online. So make sure that you walk in and look around the apartments that you're going to you're going to move into, look around, ask them questions. If it's a shared apartment, like in my case, ask them like what is shared and what is not. Is the common area shared? Is the parlor shared? The plates and the kitchen and the spoons in the kitchen, are they shared, or do I need to have my own personal utensils? Like, find out ahead of time what is shared and what is not. How many people live in this apartment? Because if it's crowded, there's a chance that it's going to be quite unclean. Find out about the apartment. Is there how is the heating? Is it like on or on? Like, ask important questions. Like, when you're viewing, you're going to ask important questions. Like, ask about heating, ask about look out for the things that you need. It's important for you to get an apartment that's fully furnished. That's like my advice, because if the apartment is fully furnished, you don't need to go and buy anything. You don't need to bother about buying a mattress or buying whatever. Everything you need is there, so you only have to come with your bag or whatever it is you personally need, right? So look for an apartment that's the next point. Look for an apartment that is fully furnished apartment. It's easier for you, and even when you're moving out, you're not worried about it. You're just moving out with your bag, come in and come back out. So look for an apartment that is fully furnished. So when you're viewing, look out for that. Is there a mattress? Is there things that you need to leave in the room? And if there's something that is missing, point that out and see, is it going to be replaced or is it not going to be replaced? Okay. And my next point is, look for an apartment that bills are included. That way you know clearly what your rent is at the end of the month. Make sure that your apartment you're looking for, all the bills are included. So if you're paying like £500 a month, £600 a month, 650, 300, whatever it is you're paying is fixed. Unless the rent is increased, nothing is shocking you at the end of the month. If you get an apartment where the bills is not inclusive, it's going to change. Some months you're paying more than expected, so it's not the best decision financially, especially for a student. Another reason why you may not want an apartment that the bills are not included is because you may have housemates who are extravagant in the way that they use things. They put on the light all the time. They they don't care about making sure that the bills are cost effective. So why do you have to deal with that? Why do you have to pay? Why do you have to be the one that has to deal with that when you're not the one that is making the bills to skyrocket? So as a student, that's not something that is best for you. Now, another thing I would like to tell you is also look for a house where the minimum stay is not too much. When you're moving to apartments in the UK, there's often an agreed minimum stay. So you have to stay here for at least 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, or whatever it is the case may be. Now, the thing about minimum stay is that if you have to break it for some reason, you don't want to stay as much as agreed, it can affect your deposit. So in some cases, they may not even give you your deposit back, because the agreement was for you to stay for a minimum of 6 months or 1 year, and you're leaving before the agreed time. So it may make them hold back your deposit. An example is in my last house where I used to stay, the minimum stay was 6 months. However, there was an emergency and I had to quickly rush back to Nigeria, which is where I also spent my summer. So it's not in alignment with the agreement. I let them know and they told me, I think my minimum stay was £270 as of that was my old apartment. and they told me that they will give me back a part of the minimum stay because they understand that it's an emergency and I didn't plan to break the agreement. So they told me that if they get someone in the time that I'm still there, if they get someone that will replace, that will come and stay in the room immediately I'm gone, they will give me back the entire deposit. But if they don't, they will give me back a part of it. So I think they gave me back half of my deposit, which is like gracious of them. Some people, they will not even give you back any part of your deposit. Now the reason why I tell you to look for a house with like the lowest minimum stay possible is that when you move into the apartment, you don't know the experience, like you don't know what it's going to be, and you want to, if it's not like a great choice, you want to easily like go to something else, right? You want to easily like explore other accommodation options. But if the minimum stay is say 1 year, you are locked in there for a year, right? When you find an apartment with minimum stay like 3 months or no minimum stay, or even like maximum 6 months minimum stay, that way, if you don't like it so much, you can make a change. You can like start looking elsewhere for another apartment. If you like it, it's a win-win. You stay as long as you want, right? So when you're going to be living with people, they're like different people with different mindsets and different like living conditions and all of that. So you want to make sure that you're protected. So when you don't like the experience you're getting so much, you can make a change. If you go and get an apartment where the minimum stay is say 1 year, 6 months plus, that's what you're going to be dealing with for 6 months plus for 1 year, except you want to let go of your deposit, and nobody wants to do that. That's not like a very like wise decision financially. So when you're house hunting, look for a house where they say no minimum stay, 3 months minimum stay, 3 months minimum stay, or maximum 6 months minimum stay. So it's flexible. If you find that you see a better option, you can easily what change. Also, when you're house hunting, I understand that oftentimes you're in a hurry to move into your own apartment because maybe you're staying in an Airbnb, you're staying with a friend, I've been there, so you quickly have to like leave. Don't be desperate. I know that you're in a hurry to get an apartment and it's not like something that you can help. It's just what it is. You need to move and get an apartment. However, don't let your desperation show. Don't let your desperation cloud your judgments. Try and be objective. Try and have a conversation with the person who you are renting, the person who is like renting the house to you. What are the rules? What do I have to do? Are there any rules I should know of? Are men allowed inside the house? If you're a woman, there's some houses where they tell you that men are not allowed. Only like men are not allowed into the house. So what are the rules? What do I need to know? Like talk about these things with the person. At the same time, don't spend too much time talking. Spend enough time talking, not too much time, not too little time. So make sure that you have the necessary information that you need to proceed. So don't let your desperation cloud your judgment. Don't be in a hurry to quickly pay. Of course, you're going to pay, because wasting time would mean that the apartment may be taken by someone else. Like the apartment will go out fast, but at the same time, make sure that you ask the necessary questions. Are there any rules? My deposit, am I going to get it back after when I leave? Just ask like questions that concern you, that concern the apartment and all of that. Okay, if you're going to be like in a shared apartment, look for a house where the landlord does not live in, right? Now the reason for this is that when there's a living landlord, right, they are like kind of on your neck, kind of, they're watching your every move. As I said, it's not like everybody. This is just what I personally think. It doesn't mean that it works for everybody, right? So when you have like a landlord living with you, right, they're just like watching your every move. They're like easily say, oh, don't do that or don't do this. However, when you're living with housemates like yourself, you're not like, you don't have that watchfulness. You don't feel so like, you don't have that watchfulness. It's just like driving someone's car. When you're driving someone's car, for example, and they're there, they're like, be careful, do this, like, you know, they're watching your every move. But when you're in a car, you're driving the person's car, the person is somewhere, you can like take your time, relax, sit back and drive as you would. But when they are there, they're watching you. Don't scratch that wall, oh, don't do this, oh, slow down, oh, see police, oh, see the red light, oh. So yeah, I feel like that's the same way it is, right? So when there's a living landlord, I feel like there's a higher chance for issues, there's a higher chance for disagreement, there's a higher chance for you to feel like watched, you to feel like the person is like, oh, don't do this, don't do, like, you just want to relax and leave. Like, it's your home, you're paying for it. You don't want to feel like watched. You don't want to feel like there are like a lot of rules on your neck, right? You don't want to feel like you can barely breathe. But with a live out landlord who does not live within, it's just you and your housemates. So there's no power game here. We are all like housemates. So you're not like going to tell me, oh, this is a rule. You're not going to like watch me and tell me do this or do that. Unlike when the landlord lives in and they're trying to protect, like, they're just like being wary. Understandably, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Understandably, it's their property, so they're careful. Like, oh, don't put your slippers there, don't do this, don't do that, be careful of this, do this, right? There's just a lot of conversation that you may not have time for if the landlord does not live in. So you can just, I feel like it's a freer experience when you have a live out landlord. However, this point is kind of tricky for some people. They don't care so much. There are still people that you live with and they don't bother you. Just try and look for live out. But if you find live in, that's the only thing you have, then move on with that, right? So just go over the points I've shared already. Make sure that you view the apartment before you pay anybody. Make sure that you find everything that you need. Like, look carefully, ask important questions. Is the window like, is it like shut tight, or are you staying in your room and you're feeling like you're outside? The heating, hope, is active and working. Everything that you need. How many people are here in this house? Are there any rules I should know? Are there anything that I'm not allowed to do? Tell me now, so I will know that yes, so it works, or no, it does not. So ask as much questions as you can as possible. Make sure that the minimum stay is like very, very minimal. Don't go and move into a house where the minimum stay is 1 year. Like, don't do that. Look for a house where there's like no minimum stay, or 3 months minimum stay, or max 6 months. So if you don't like it so much, you can up and make alternative arrangements. Look for a live out landlord. What else am I forgetting as well? And be wary of red signs, right? Like, if a house is like cheaper, like, like if in a place in the UK, for instance, you should know what the average rent is. And how would you know that? From the apartments you are seeing on the site you are using, on the website you are using, you're seeing like you are seeing that houses that you're looking for are within a certain range. So if a house is like too low, there's a reason why it's too low. For instance, when I went to a house where the house was near a cemetery, that's why the house was very, very low. It was like lower than what the average was. So oftentimes when the rent is like way lower than what the average is, find out why. Just be curious. Why is this like find out why. Of course, there's some situations where there's nothing wrong, it's just low, but there's also the other situation where it's a red sign, there's something that is wrong. So find out why. Another thing I was going to talk about, I almost forgot that. Do not look for a house that is too close to the train station. Do not get a house that is too close to the train station. Even if it's like very, very close to the train station, stay there. Like, when you're viewing, stay long enough to listen. In my former apartment, the train station was close to the house. It was like about 4 or 5 minutes walk, and I could hear the trains pass. Like, the train the rail was near the house, so when the trains pass, I hear them. It was disturbing, it was annoying, it was so annoying, right? It was so annoying. So it may be good that you're living near the station, train station, so you can quickly take a walk and just enter the station and go wherever. But be mindful, if the house is near the train station, there's a chance that you can hear the trains, right? There's a chance. So it depends on the position of the house. There's a place it can be, the rail is passing the house. So even if the house is near the train station, ask them, please, can I hear the train from here? Because maybe it can be near the train station and the rail is going in another direction. That one is better. So when you're looking at a house, be wary of houses that are too close to the train station. Of course, it should not be too far either. It should not be like an hour from the train station if you need the train station all the time. So if you're walking and you need to get on the train, it's smart to get a house that is near the train station. If you're also like a student and you need to use the train station to get to school, it's smart to get a house that is like near the train station. However, let it not be too near. Let it not be like brothers and sisters near. In my last apartment, it was very, very close to the train station. When I was in the house, I would see the trains pass. It was annoying. If I open my window, it's even louder. But when I shut my window tight, I will not hear it so much. So it was like very, very inconveniencing. And there was a time when I was even doing my coursework. I was trying to concentrate. I'm running codes. These codes are not working. And I'm still hearing the train tracks. Why? I'm hearing the trains move. Why? I'm trying to run this code. I'm so angry. I want to throw away my laptop because the code is not working. And then the trains are moving. Like, it's just a lot to deal with, right? So when you're like apartment hunting, don't go and look for a house that is in the high street. There's something called the high street. The high street is just like the main road, kind of. So the high street is where like there's like bees, there's like shops, there's like a lot of things going on in the high street. So it's very, very good. The high street is like great. You can quickly buy whatever. But if your house is too close, there's a chance that you're going to be hearing the cars all the time. And that can be a problem. At first, you may not identify it as a problem. But when you're there for a longer time, like after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're getting tired. So beware of houses that are too close to the high street and too close to the train station. As I said, let me like say it again, it's not a bad thing to be close to your means of transportation. It's not a bad thing to be close to the high streets. It makes things accessible. It makes transport accessible. It makes like everything accessible, like more accessible. But don't be too close to all the action, all the business, right? The train station, if you're hearing the trains pass, you will realize that the train is passing all the time, and you don't want that. If you're in the high street and the cars are moving, like if it's noisy, you don't want that as well. You don't want to be hearing the cars all the time. So just be close enough, but not too close, right? I'd rather take a bus to the train station than live so close to the train station that I hear the train all the time. But you see, a house can be near the train station, but maybe the rail is going in another direction. So if the house seems to be close to the train station, ask them, can I hear the train from here? And if you can, think about your choice. Think about it, right? So guys, that's all for this video. If you have any subsequent questions, do well to leave it in the comment section. Leave me a comment as well. Let me know how you feel about everything I've said now, and let me know the kind of videos you'd like to see next as well. Understand also, if you're transitioning to the UK, realize that whatever stress you're going through is going to be like, it's going to eventually like get way better. Everything gets better eventually. So if you're house hunting, you're looking for a job, whatever it is you're looking for, you're trying to settle down, do not let the stress get to you so much. Calm down, breathe, relax. It will eventually get better. You eventually settle down. You eventually like get over all of this, and you will not be able to relate to whatever stress you're going through in this moment. Thank you so much guys for watching this video up to this point. Please do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Bye.